Hello, and welcome once again to Movies That Pop. I'm the Kernel. Let's see what popped up in theaters this week. Okay, full disclosure before we get started. I read the best-selling book, The Girl on the Train, when it was released last year, and I found it to be sort of a boozed-up version of Gone Girl, that devilish tale of ugly marriage, lurid sex, and murder that was also adapted into a hit film in 2014. Now, I enjoyed Gone Girl, both the film and the book before it, quite a lot, and I felt that the book The Girl on the Train, while a lesser variation, was a pretty addictive page-turner in its own right. This tale, which involves multiple unreliable narrators, multiple unlikable victims, frequent flashbacks and perspective shifts, and an all-you-can-eat buffet of barely suppressed rage, it really works on the page. The story also provides, now here's something to make us feminists happy, plenty of plumb, juicy roles for women. And when I heard that the roles would be filled out by Emily Blunt, Allison Janney, and current it girls of the moment, Rebecca Ferguson and Haley Bennett, with smaller supporting roles going to Laura Prepon and even Lisa Kudrow, wow! And the male roles got snapped up by the likes of Luke Evans and Justin Theroux. I was excited. So imagine my bewilderment as I sat there watching this film unfold in front of me, more or less in lockstep with the book, going back, shifting perspective, concealing clues the same way, but without an ounce of narrative tension or suspense or even a sense of direction or of escalation. It's not that nothing happens in the story, it's not like events don't occur or revelations aren't made that raise the stakes and all of that. It's just that when they do, the movie doesn't seem to really want to call your attention to it very much. It doesn't hammer the point home. There's no impact to any of the story beats. It all just sort of stays on sort of a hazy medium level. And that's sort of the film's major trick. It's creating a sort of a hazy feeling, the dissonant score, the out-of-focus cinematography, the use of blurry montage. It's where we begin as we're introduced to Rachel, Emily Blunt's character. The first of a few unreliable narrators, we see her ride the train from the suburbs into New York City and back again every day. And it's clear from the first that she has, well, let's just say she's got some issues. Never far away from an alcoholic beverage, usually consumed on the go, she's become very fond of looking out the window in a sort of stupor and spying on the seemingly happy couple whose house borders the tracks. That'd be Haley Bennett and Luke Evans' characters. Of course, in one of the film's many coincidences that I think were easier to swallow on the page, her ex-husband's house is only a few doors down and also visible from the tracks. If you're wondering just who she ultimately is really spying on every day as she rides past, well, that just means that you've got your head in the game. Well done. Now, one day, this woman, Rachel, who ranges from meddling busybody to deranged lunatic, witnesses what looks like Bennett's character, Megan, having an affair. This sends Rachel on a bender, which it turns out is actually not that difficult to do. And on the way back out of the city, she stumbles off the train. Well, it's difficult to say just what she planned to do, but what happens when she stumbles onto a street and into a bunch of characters' lives in which she doesn't belong? Well, it forms the central mystery of the story. And it's a mystery that unfolds with all of the impact of a knock-knock joke. Rachel has forgotten a key event, or isn't aware of it, and then just all of a sudden out of nowhere she just remembers. And voila! Cracked the case. She didn't even deduce it or figure it out. She literally just remembers it. And that's it. Portraying mental illness is always kind of tricky in movies. Emily Blunt is a fantastic actress, but here, her histrionics push that fine boundary between riveting and kind of laughable at times. Unlike with the book, which features her as a narrator and lets you kind of get inside her head, this film version doesn't ever give you anything tangible to bond us to Rachel, to feel for her. We just start right out observing her erratic behavior, which makes her look increasingly off her nutter. Speaking of character judgments, another reason it's sort of difficult to find a way into this story is that of the 6 main characters, we have 3 women characters that are all varying degrees of unlikable, and 3 men characters who are also varying degrees of unlikable. With the exception of Allison Janney's superb turn as a police investigator, we get a bunch of unlikable characters doing things that make us like them even less and learning new information by coincidence or flashback as the story just plods towards its final scene, which ends with a very limp closing line of narration and creates a sort of, feeling. Which means that with a very heavy heart, I must give The Girl on the Train an empty bag of popcorn. Though the story was thrilling enough on paper, and the cast is stocked with a deep roster of talented people, The Girl on the Train just rumbles along towards its conclusion, never picking up any steam. Look, one last note. If you find the premise intriguing, just read the book. It's good. If you want to see a good movie, though, stay home and watch Gone Girl instead. Hey, fun fact, Gone Girl was this close to making my list of the top 10 movies to watch while you're going through a breakup. Check out the link to that video in the show notes below. That does it for this edition of Movies That Pop. Don't forget to follow me, the Kernel, on Twitter @MoviesThatPop. Click the icon right down there to visit our channel if you'd like to see more, and support us by clicking subscribe while you're there, and by clicking the thumbs up icon below. Now I'd like to hear your thoughts on The Girl on the Train in the comments as well. Let's talk about it. Tell me if I'm off base. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'm the Kernel, and I'm here because I'm afraid of myself.